Alright guys, we're going to come back to, I think it's part 5 on the...
4 or 5, maybe 6. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Keep going.
Alright, I don't know if you want to do Alright guys.
Start it.
Alright guys, sorry about the wait on the Mark IV TSI build. We've had a bunch of stuff going on in the shop. We're going to get back onto it.
Finally.
Finally. We ran into a few small snags. The transmission's got to come back out.
Talk about this.
The flywheel is actually making contact with the Mark IV trans, so we have to run a hybrid clutch. A TSI flywheel, no, a 180
flywheel
out of a Mark IV 6-speed flywheel that's drilled to the TSI bolt pattern to run the Mark IV clutch and trans. Or we have to put the Mark V 02M 6-speed trans, but we won't have a vehicle speed sensor. So I think we're going to go with still the Mark IV clutch set and a modified Mark IV flywheel because we want vehicle speed, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be getting the engine back out, getting some measurements, and then we're also going to work on the
core support, radiator, intercooler,
correct,
AC condenser, because we are getting that figured out. It'll be cool.
Yeah, we're going to be running the Mark V intercooler, Mark V radiator, still figuring out the condenser, which isn't a priority right now. Yeah.
Let's get to it.
The Mark V intercooler with the Mark V radiator.
Yeah.
We had to trim up the core support a little bit, but I think we're gonna have enough room.
Yeah.
So we definitely have plenty of room. For the slimline fans and for the connections for the radiator hoses.
Do we have hoses?
Yeah, we'll get some.
I don't know if we could knock them up.
One less thing we have to worry about. It fits.
Yeah, that's okay. You got that bracket?
Yeah, brackets in the Mark V.
I'm gonna trap those hoses first.
What?
Well, the power steering goes anyways.
Yeah, let's go
What
in
order? Because it goes alternator.
You goes alternator, power steering pump, AC compressor way down at the bottom. So that, we know for a fact the pressure line is going to have to get modified. Look at this.
Barely.
I don't have the pump. I don't have the pump yet, but I have the bracket. Let's go ahead and get the bracket on.
Toss the bracket on. Yeah.
And then we can throw the core support. Just set it back on real quick. Check clearance.
Yeah. All right, guys. Sorry, the camera died right there while we were. Where were we at?
We were putting the bracket on.
We were trying to test fit the bracket. Yeah. So we got this bracket from 2012 A4. That way it has alternator, power steering, and an AC on it. We had to notch the engine mount bracket right here so we could fit the pulley. We actually had to take a little bit more than we were expecting off, but it fits good now. And the A4 has an oil pressure sensor back in there that we're going to have to block off. We'll show that at some point.
Yeah, the main one we need is going to be the one up top, right off the filter.
And oh, this is the Volkswagen pulley, not the Audi pulley, because it's a little bit smaller, so we can hopefully get the belt on and pull this down more to get it on easier. So see how that goes. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull the trans off and then see how bad it was hitting in there, because it doesn't rotate right now because it's pushed in so far. And I think that's pretty much what we're planning on doing.
Yeah, we're just gonna get the trans off, get measurements of the back of the crank.
Yep.
And then we're gonna go measure the 182 we got, and measure the back of that, and see what the difference is.
Yeah.
Then we gotta measure
Doing the 118.
Yeah, now we gotta measure the 182. What he did is on the back of the, where the flywheel meets the crank, we had to measure the depth from the flat portion here to the mating surface of the block. And then when we're done with that, we gotta measure the clutch mating surface to the top of the block. And we need to get those numbers within millimeters to line up. So, all right. All right, guys. The 180 flywheel, this is the same dimensions. It comes off 16 and a half millimeters off the back of the block. We drilled out 2 of the holes on the 6-speed conversion flywheel for the Mark IV. We're able to get it bolted on. It's still not correct. We're getting a custom flywheel, a Mark IV re-drilled to a TSI so we get all 8 bolts in. But as of right now, the clutch is on. Got 3 bolts holding the pressure plate on. This is not the clutch we're running. So now we're going to put the trans back on, tighten the 3 bolts we do have to get it snug, and be sure everything rotates over like it's supposed to. Ready? Hold it still.
Yep.
All right, I need there it is. And then now, rotation, moment of truth. That was our problem.
Mint.
All right, so yeah, a Mark IV flywheel drilled the TSI 8 bolt, and then you run a Mark IV trans, Mark IV single mass conversion kit. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get the engine back in the car for tonight. We're still testing other stuff, so the engine's gonna be in and out multiple times. So.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. We had a little problem with the flywheel. We sent it off to try and get it welded up and then re-drill it out to the 8-bolt on the TSI, and it ended up cracking from the bolt holes to the center. So that's not going to work out. We're going to find a different option. Probably have one custom drilled.
Yeah, reach out to Clutch Masters. They said they can make a flywheel to the specs to match the same clutch set that we want to use, or they can make it to match their FX 200, 300, or 400 kit. So we have the options for different clutches. We want to go ahead and upgrade now. We're already getting a light flywheel, single mass conversion.
Yeah.
So if we do that, we'll be done. One and done. We don't have to upgrade later. So
then we'll break the trains easier. So
true. But I think we're gonna go ahead and end this video now. As much as we wanted to get the engine back in the car tonight, it's been a couple days since it's been out.
Something. It's been a while, actually. A few days, a week. I don't know.
Yeah. So we got a few things coming in. We went and looked at a Mark 6 GTI, CCTA, or CBFA parts car that we're gonna go pick up. Car runs and drives. Dude bought it for the panels for his car. So if you've seen the shorts, you've already seen the lovely shite box we got. So
it's a piece.
It's a beautiful piece. It was beautiful, more beautiful than this car than when we picked it up, without fenders or
This
interior.
one's rust free though.
True, but
That one is not rust free.
yeah, we'll go over the car. In the next video, we're going to go over the harness. We figured a few things out that we can do ourselves here, whether we decide to run the BCM, run the CAN bus module, and a few other modules we have to run to make the car work, and tap it into the Mark IV harness. We have that option, or we have one of the guys we've been talking to who actually makes harnesses for swaps. He said he can do it where he deletes the BCM, deletes the CAN bus, it deletes every module out of the car, and it's direct plug and play into the Mark IV. So right now it's more or less the price point based on us having to buy a clutch. There's a few other things we're looking at getting for the car. So catch us in the next video. Anything else you got to say?
That's it.
All right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys.